Hi, this is Dr. Tiffany Jackson, naturopathic doctor at Natural Medicine Now University. Thank you for joining us for this webinar, Understanding Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture. Chinese medicine is the longest existing medical system practiced in the world with over 3,000 years of history. It's a complete system of medicine with its own forms of diagnosis, treatment, prognosis, and therapies. Chinese medicine views the body as an energetic system in dynamic balance. In this webinar, I will teach you the concepts of Chinese medicine, such as the Yin Yang Theory, 5 Elements Theory, understanding acupuncture and the meridians of the body, and diet recommendations for eating in season. So let's get started. The way medicine is practiced in America is called Western medicine. In Western medicine, the doctor looks for specific causes of disease and focuses on a particular body component to treat. Traditional Chinese medicine does not work this way. There are fundamental differences in principles, diagnosis, and treatment approaches between Western medicine and Chinese medicine. The ancient Chinese believed that their existence was closely tied with the universe, where they were located in the center of the heavens and the earth. The concept of the universe was used to explain the laws of nature, and relationships were formed between the cosmos and humans. For example, the skin of the human body corresponded with the flat texture of the earth. The 5 internal organs corresponded to 5 elements of wood, fire, water, earth, and metal. And the ears and the eyes related to the sun and the moon and the heavens. This concept became the basic idea of Taoism, a philosophical and religious tradition of China. Now I want to teach you about the 5 Elements Theory. The 5 Elements Theory evolved from the study of various processes, functions, and phenomena of nature. The theory asserts substances can be divided into one of 5 basic elements: wood, fire, water, metal, and earth, which contain their own specific characteristics and properties. This cycle is explained most easily by a simple metaphor. The relationship is the same as a mother and child relationship, where the child is dependent on the mother for nourishment and therefore growth and well-being. So when you're looking at the diagram on the slide, you will see that wood promotes fire, fire promotes earth, earth promotes metal, metal promotes water, and water promotes wood. So now if you look in the center of the diagram with the arrows that are making a star, you will see the controlling relationship of these elements. Wood controls earth, earth controls water, water controls fire, fire controls metal, and metal controls wood. So now let's look at the 5 elements and their relationship with nature and the body. As shown on the table on the slide, there are organized relationships between the elements, nature, and the human body. The different characteristics interact with another according to a specific order and element. The colors, emotions, flavors, senses, climates, body parts, and organs are all related. Through viewing the human body in this way, Chinese medicine can determine internal disharmony. For example, if a patient has a green hue to his complexion or a sour taste in his mouth and his eyes are bothersome in some way, if you look real closely to that element, it would be the wood element, which would indicate that they needed to support his liver and gallbladder to restore the patient's health. So what I really want you to notice on this slide is the yin and the yang organs and the tissues that are each associated with a certain element. So you will see the liver and gallbladder are associated with the tendons in the wood element. The heart and the small intestine are associated with vessels under the fire element. The spleen and stomach are associated with muscles under the earth element. And the lung and large intestine are related to the skin and hair under the metal element, and then the bladder and kidney are related to bones under the water element. So let's talk about the Yin and Yang Theory. The original concept of yin and yang came from the observation of nature and the environment. Yin originally referred to the shady side of a slope, while yang referred to the sunny side. This thinking was used in understanding other things, which occurred in pairs and had balancing and opposing characteristics in nature. Some examples include sky and earth, day and night, water and fire, male and female, and so on. Working with these ideas, the ancient Chinese people recognized nearly all things could have yin and yang properties. Yin and yang describe two relative aspects of the same phenomenon, such as the example of the slope, or they can describe two different objects like the sky and the earth. So in Chinese medicine, yang is associated with the functional aspect of an object and has energetic qualities such as moving, ascending, expanding, heat, bright, and hyper-functioning. Yin, on the other hand, is associated with the physical form of an object and has less energetic qualities such as stillness, descending, contracting, cold, dark, and under-functioning. In Western medicine, the body's organs are explained in terms of their anatomical structure and physiological functions. However, in Chinese medicine, the approach is quite different. Organs are considered functional units of the body. Therefore, what is typically thought of as an organ, like the heart, liver, or stomach, has a much broader meaning and application in traditional Chinese medicine. An organ's anatomical structure is not as important as its yin-yang properties or relationships with other organs. Chinese medicine recognizes 5 yin organs and 6 yang organs. The yin organs include the liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. The pericardium is sometimes considered a 6th yin organ. The function of the yin organs is to produce and transform and regulate and store fundamental substances such as qi, blood, and body fluids, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But in general, yin organs do not have empty cavities. The 6 yang organs are made up of the gallbladder, the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, bladder, and triple burner. The triple burner does not have a physical structure and is considered a functional unit. The yang organs are mainly responsible for digesting and transmitting nutrients to the body. Yang organs are organs with empty cavities. So first we need to talk about qi. The Chinese character qi is the same word for air or gas. The ancient Chinese people believed qi was the most fundamental entity making up the world. They thought everything in the universe resulted from the movement and change of qi. Qi can also be interpreted as life energy or life force, which flows within us. In traditional Chinese medicine, qi is that vital substance constituting the human body, and it also refers to the physiological functions of organs and meridians. I think it's interesting that it's even difficult to find an English word or phrase that completely describes the nature of qi. There's not one. But in Chinese medicine, they explain it like this. Human qi comes from 2 main sources. The first source of qi is inherited from your parents at conception. It is known as the innate vital substance. The second source is derived from the essential substances in nature as air you breathe, food, and water. Both the inherited and acquired vital energies are further processed and transformed by your organs. The kidney is the first to send the innate vital substance upward, where it combines with food derived from the spleen and then mixes with fresh air from the lungs, where it finally forms into qi of the body. By understanding how qi is formed, traditional Chinese medicine has identified 2 important factors necessary for maintaining health. By eating a healthy diet and breathing fresh air, the body extracts their most valuable essences and uses them to help form the vital energy. Following these simple principles are the first steps towards creating a healthy balance in the body. Now I want to talk about blood from a traditional Chinese medical perspective. In Western medicine, blood is composed of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, nutrients, and other proteins such as electrolytes and water. Its functions are based on the characteristics of these individual components. Some of these functions include distributing hormones, carrying oxygen and energy such as glucose, and supporting the immune system. But traditional Chinese medicine focuses on the body as a whole. Blood is viewed simply as the red fluid inside the blood vessels that provides nutrition for the body. Chinese medicine believes blood mainly originates from food. First, digested food is turned into food essence by the stomach and the spleen. Eating a balanced and healthy diet is extremely important because of the spleen's role in the production of qi and blood. Chinese medicine believes that with sufficient nourishment from the blood, organs and tissues can function normally, resulting in a healthy glow in the skin, cheeks, and healthy hair. Nails, muscles, and bones also rely on blood nourishment to remain strong and healthy. If blood is deficient, dizziness, vertigo, ringing in the ears, or limb weakness can occur. The Chinese also believe that a good blood supply is important for mental health. With sufficient blood nourishment, a clear mind, good spirit, fast thought process, and swift reaction times are very possible. On the other hand, if deficiency of blood occurs, that can lead to poor memory, insomnia, and serious cases of mental disorders and psychiatric disease. And now, body fluids. Body fluids refer to fluids in the organs and tissues, gastric fluid, intestinal fluid, semen, and tears. Body fluids are essential to life's activities. According to Chinese medicine, body fluids originate from food and water. They are formed during digestion in the stomach and also transformed by the spleen. Body fluids help secrete metabolic waste and toxins produced through the metabolic functions of various organs. These fluids are usually excreted as sweat and urine. In this way, body fluids maintain a clean and healthy environment for organs, meridians, and tissues. Disharmony of body fluids is manifested in two ways. When the body fluids can no longer nourish and provide moisture to the body, symptoms such as dry skin, weak muscles, brittle hair, dry eyes, parched lips, and a dry nose or throat can occur. When there is too much excretion of body fluids, symptoms can present as swollen eyelids, edema, obesity, and other conditions. So now I want to specifically talk about the kidneys. In traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys are the most important organ of the body. They are viewed as the root of life and the origin of our congenital inherited foundation. In traditional Chinese medicine, understanding the kidneys is more extensive than the Western anatomical kidneys. In Chinese medicine, they perform reproductive, urinary, endocrine, skeletal, blood, and central nervous system functions, as well as store what is called the primordial energy, known as the inherited kidney yin and kidney yang. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys work closely with all of the other organs in the body to carry out all physiological functions. So now let's talk about the Chinese Meridian System. According to the ancient literature of traditional Chinese medicine, it is hypothesized that the Meridian Theory developed by observation of a needle feeling projected somewhere on the body. When specific points on the skin were pierced by fine needles, a feeling of soreness or numbness or heaviness and swelling would occur. It was found that these needle feelings were always felt on a particular skin area following a certain direction and pathway. Ancient Chinese medicine philosophers worked out the patterns of the needle points, which are now known as acupuncture points in the body, which later formed the basis for what we call the Meridian Theory. From day-to-day experiences, Chinese people gradually recognized when a particular disease or organ disorder occurred, and they would feel pain in a particular part of their skin, which was often associated with a rash or skin color changes. These correlations were analyzed according to ancient philosophies such as the Yin Yang and the five elements theories, and further developed into an integrated scientific meridian system for maintaining health. The distribution network, called the Meridian System, looks like a giant web linking different areas of the body together. Its pathways make up a comprehensive yet complex body map that supplies vital energy to every part of the body. Philosophically, the Meridian System explains how we live and why we become sick. Meridians are a collection of acupuncture points. By connecting and uniting different parts of our body, meridians provide transport for the fundamental substances of qi, blood, and body fluids. Although acupuncture points are located externally and superficially, they can affect the internal functions of our body. There are 365 acupuncture points, and each point belongs to a particular meridian channel that connects to a specific organ. Since understanding the meridian system can be very confusing, I want to explain it with a water flow analogy. Since qi and blood are mobile, it's easy to understand the concept of meridians by comparing it to water flow. When water flows down a mountain or a slope, it flows from high to low ground. It will also follow the geographical terrain and collect in the most stable area, which is a river. Rivers maintain the natural streamlined flow and kinetic energy of the water. By avoiding turbulent flow, it provides the most efficient way of transporting water downstream. As a result, the land surrounding the river is lush with vegetation and life because of the steady supply of the fresh water. Qi works in a very similar way to the flow of water in nature. By flowing from a high to low concentration, it follows the body's landscape and gathers in a meridian. Thus, meridians provide the natural pathway for the flow of qi and supply the constant source of energy to different parts of the body in the same way a river supplies water to the surrounding banks. If a river is blocked, all areas relying on the water downstream will be affected. Due to the lack of water, the ecosystem's balance and harmony are disrupted, and plants and animals cannot survive. Likewise, if the meridian system is blocked, the supply of qi to different parts of the body will be interrupted, leading to organ disharmony and disease, even if that affected area is far away from the original blockage. In order to restore balance and harmony, it is necessary to resume the optimal flow of the river or qi. In the case of the river, the debris causing the blockage is removed and the riverbed is strengthened. The harmony of the meridian system is restored in our bodies by stimulating particular acupuncture points. In this way, the flow of qi is regulated and qi energy is distributed efficiently throughout the body. In this way, the flow of qi is regulated and qi energy is distributed efficiently throughout the body again. So now I want to talk about the meridian flow chart, and this is actually where I find Chinese medicine to be fascinating. The 12 meridians follow specific time schedules and pathways. Qi is continuously circulating through the meridians in a daily cycle. At certain times, both qi and blood have maximum flow in particular meridians. For example, from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., meridian qi mainly flows through the lung meridian and enters the large intestine meridian at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then the stomach meridian from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. In this way, the meridian cycle is continuous as the qi flows through the body. So when you get into Chinese medicine and you're seeing patients that are possibly commonly waking up around 2 or 3 in the morning, then supporting the liver would be indicated. The tongue is one of the most important diagnostic areas in traditional Chinese medicine. Your tongue contains water, electrolytes, mucus, and enzymes. It's a very sensitive organ, and its appearance changes with many physical changes in the body. In Chinese medicine, the tongue is a map of the internal body. The tongue is divided into 5 element zones that correspond to your internal organ network. The tip of the tongue exhibits the fire element. Behind the tongue tip is the metal element. Both right and left sides are the wood element. In the center towards the back is the earth element. In the very back of your tongue is the water element. A normal tongue should be pink, muscular, without tooth marking or discoloration, and have a very thin coating that exhibits proper salivary secretions. A traditional Chinese medical doctor will monitor your health by noticing the color, shape, and coating changes in the specific zones on your tongue. Chinese medical doctors can diagnose underlying problems even further by analyzing regions of your tongue. These show you which organ network is affected. So, for example, the tip of your tongue is the fire element zone, which corresponds to the heart and the small intestine network. This includes matter of the heart, both emotional and physical health. In Chinese medicine, the spirit is said to reside in the heart network, so stress and anxiety will show up as red color and red dots on the tip of your tongue. Another example, just behind the tip of the tongue is the metal element zone, which corresponds to the respiratory and the immune system. When this area turns reddish, or when pin-sized dots occur, it usually means that a respiratory infection is on its way or settling into the body. And the paleness in the metal zone may reflect a weakened immune system. And now let's talk about pulse diagnosis. Most people already know that the pulse reflects the heart rate, which is normally between 60 and 90 beats per minute. Whether it's too slow, too fast, or irregular, it can indicate a possible heart problem. However, according to Chinese medicine, the pulse reveals more than just heart rate. Chinese pulse diagnosis is an extremely complex subject, but a very important diagnostic tool. It can give very detailed information on the state of the internal organs and reflects the whole complex of qi, blood yin and yang, and every part of the body. It gives the doctor an indication of the overall constitution of a person. Just as the tongue can reflect these phenomena, so does the pulse. It is a very subtle skill and is something I only recommend you have an acupuncturist perform on you. The pulse is taken on the radial artery on both hands and correlates to different organs, as you can see from the picture on the slide. Each pulse position can reflect a different phenomena in different situations. If a patient is experiencing migraine headaches, her pulse may feel wiry, which means harder or tighter than normal, and more superficial and pounding. So if she was to see an acupuncturist, he may diagnose this as excessive liver fire. So now let's talk about diet in Chinese medicine philosophy. The Chinese widely believe that we are what we eat. According to TCM philosophies, when you eat seasonal foods that are similar in nature to the external environment, you will remain in harmony with the environment and adapt better to changes in the season and stay healthy. In the Chinese system, a balanced diet is one which includes all 5 tastes: spicy, sour, bitter, sweet, and salty. Foods and herbs which have a particular taste tend to have particular properties. The Chinese idea of a balanced diet is one which includes all 5 tastes, but the ratio of those tastes are going to vary according to the needs and the season of the year. So let's review each dietary advice for each season. Spring. Spring is the season of new birth and new growth. According to Chinese medicine, spring belongs to the wood element and dominates liver function. If we don't adapt to the changing climate in the spring, we may be susceptible to seasonal health problems such as flu, pneumonia, or relapse of chronic diseases. In the spring, it's advisable to reduce the intake of sour flavors and increase the sweet and pungent flavors, as this is going to help facilitate the liver to regulate the qi through the body. Examples of foods for eating in the spring are onions, leeks, leaf mustard, Chinese yam, dates, cilantro, mushrooms, spinach, and bamboo shoots. Also, eating fresh green leafy vegetables should also be included in meals, along with sprouts from seeds. In addition, uncooked, frozen, and fried foods should only be taken in moderation during the spring because these are harmful to the spleen and stomach if consumed in large amounts. Summer. Plants grow fast in the summer. People act energetically, and the body's qi and blood become relatively more vigorous than in other seasons. Chinese medicine claims that the physiological changes make the heart overfunction and that there's too much yang qi flow outward to the exterior parts of the body. According to the 5 elements theory, an overfunctioning heart restricts lung function. So it's advisable to eat more food with pungent flavors and reduce bitter flavors because this will enhance the lungs and maintain normal sweating mechanisms for the summer heat. Sweat is the fluid of the heart. Excessive sweating scatters the heart qi and weakens the mind, causing symptoms like easily being annoyed, low-spirited, restless, and sleeping difficulties. Foods with sour and salty flavors help to ease these symptoms. Summer, it can be hot and rainy in some seasons, which disturb the fluid and electrolyte balance of the body and leads to lethargy, weakness, fever, thirst, lack of appetite, and possibly loose bowels. Some foods are recommended to keep the body cool and balanced, such as bitter gourds, watermelon, strawberries, tomato, mung beans, cucumber, lotus root, lotus seed, bean sprouts, duck, and fish. In general, the daily diet should contain more vegetables and fruit at this time of year so as to stimulate the appetite and provide adequate fluids. Warm and cooked foods ensure that the digestive system will work more effectively because too many greasy, raw, frozen foods can damage the digestive system and lead to poor appetite, diarrhea, or stomach problems. So it's a Chinese tradition in the summer to make soups for clearing the summer heat, eliminating the dampness, and promoting digestion. Autumn. Things begin to fall and mature in autumn. Chinese medicine believes that autumn correlates with the lung system, which dominates the skin, respiration, body fluid metabolism, blood circulation, immunity, and emotion. Since the vigorous summer is over, Chinese medicine holds that everything needs to turn inward so as to prepare for the harsh winter. Foods are important to ensure that the body adjusts to these changing seasons. The dry weather usually causes an itchy throat, dry nose, chapped lips, rough skin, hair loss, dry stools. So we need to eat and promote the production of body fluids and their lubricating effects throughout the body. Beneficial foods are nuts and seeds and pears, pumpkin, honey, soy milk, and dairy products. It's advisable to eat more foods with sour flavors and reduce pungent flavors such as onion, ginger, and peppers, which induce perspiration, while sour foods like pineapple, apple, grapefruit, and lemon have astringent properties and thus prevent the loss of body fluids. The body needs extra fluids to counteract the dry environment, and it's a Chinese tradition to eat porridge for breakfast and soup for dinner that is made with some of the above ingredients. Winter. In the winter, living things slow down to save energy while some animals hibernate. It also is the season where humans conserve energy and build strength as a prelude to spring. Chinese medicine believes our diet should be adapted to focus on enriching yin and subduing yang, which means we should consume appropriate fats and high protein foods. Foods that are recommended during the winter are beef, goose, duck, eggs, rabbit meat, Chinese yam, sesame, dates, bamboo shoot, mushrooms, leeks, and nuts are common ingredients in Chinese dishes during this time. Also recommended is foods with bitter flavors, which includes apricots, asparagus, celery, grapefruit, hops, lettuce, radish leaves, kale, vinegar, and wine. So that is an overview of how to eat according to Chinese medicine during the season. The Chinese dietary philosophy suggests that you embrace your native foods in addition to eating locally grown foods in season. What is unhealthy about the modern American diet is that particular foods are now available all year long and are chemically treated instead of being naturally grown. And most people aren't eating in season. In Chinese medicine, they also believe that a proper living environment can also promote health. They believe everything matters. Location, the building, the room design, they are all influenced by the energy surrounding them. If a place makes you creative, comfortable, and energetic, then that means it's created in interaction with your own qi. This means that there is a good Feng Shui. If the place makes you depressed and lethargic, then in Chinese medicine, they would take active steps to find an environment to create a favorable surrounding. In general, Chinese medicine advocates that you should live in places with peaceful and secluded surroundings, with fresh air, plenty of sunshine, and excellent ventilation. So here are your action plans. Number 1, be open and educate yourself more about Chinese medicine. Number 2, eat more foods in season. And number 3, see an acupuncturist to get a full traditional Chinese medicine experience. Your qi will thank you. Thank you for joining this webinar. Chinese medicine helps restore the body to balance and works on an energetic level to affect all aspects of the mind, body, and spirit. I hope you now have a better understanding of Chinese medicine and may choose to find an acupuncturist or begin eating more in season. So take action and prevent disease. This is Dr. Tiffany Jackson at Natural Medicine Now University wishing you a happy and healthy day.